In this video, we will use our knowledge of Boolean expressions and conditional statements to create a maze game. The game we are going to make is we have to take this sprite, we have to move the sprite around this maze to bring it out, and if the sprite touches these black lines, then the game is over. So what I've done is I've just taken regular scratch sprite. I have reduced the size to 35 so that it can go through the maze. And then to create the maze, I've gone on stage, and on top left, I've gone to backdrops and I have painted this maze. Painted means I've just taken these lines and I have drawn these lines, and you can increase the size, etc. of the line here. So let's now code the sprite. So the first thing we want to do is we want to write code to bring the sprite to the starting position, because if in the previous game the game got over here, then what we want is when the user clicks the green flag to start a new game, the sprite should come here at the beginning of all new games. So wherever the sprite is on the stage, the location is determined by the x and y coordinates. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and right now the position is x minus 159 and y 151. And if I move the sprite anywhere, the x and y coordinates automatically update. So I will put the sprite in the right position, and then in motion you have got this x and y, and wherever the sprite is right now, the x and y go to x and y coordinate programming block has the right value, minus 161 153, minus 161 153. So what we are saying is, in events we are saying when green flag is clicked, go to this x and y coordinate. So for example, if I move the sprite somewhere else, let's say the game ended because the user was here, then when the user presses the green button, the sprite will automatically come to the right position at the start of the game. Next, let's learn how to move the sprite. So there are many ways to move the sprite. In motion, you've got the move command. So I can move the sprite right, and I can put a minus 10, and I can move the sprite left. And what we want to do is we want to give control to the user to move the sprite left and right and up and down. So you understand x and y axis, this is the x axis and this is the y axis. I can use the move command to move the sprite left and right, but I can also do the same by using this programming block which says change x by 10, because if I press this change x by 10, it's the same as when we say move 10 steps. And likewise, if I change y, if I use change y by 10, I get up, and if I say change y by minus 10, I get down, downward movement of the sprite. So we can use move, or we can use x, and then to move up and down we can use y, change y by block. Now we want to give the user control that by pressing certain keys, the user should be able to move the sprite. So if we go into events, we have got this block which says when space key is pressed. And if you click the drop down, you get all the keys in the keyboard here. So I'm going to say when right arrow is pressed, change x by 10. So when I press the right arrow, my sprite is moving 10 steps to the right. I can change this value and make it 5. Then I have finer control over the movement of my sprite. Then I can right click and duplicate, and I can change the position minus 5, and I can say assign this to left arrow. So now when I press left arrow, my sprite is moving left, and when I'm pressing right arrow, my sprite is moving right. We can again duplicate this, and instead of x, we can now take y, and we can say change y by 5 when the up arrow is pressed. So up arrow is pressed, I've got upward movement, duplicate, down arrow, change y by -5. So now I've got all the controls, left, right, up and down. And when I click the green flag, I get the sprite to the original position and I can maneuver the sprite. So that's the first part. Let's add the collision part, collision detection part, which means that when the sprite will touch the black line, the game is over. So for this, we can use the Boolean expression in sensing, which is touching color. So I can go to touching color, I click this, using the select color tool, I come here and I pick up the exact black value. So now I have the same black here touching color, this particular black. And now using this Boolean expression, we can bring out a conditional statement, which is a if then conditional statement. And we can say, if touching black color, then do something. And here basically we want to end the game. So we can go in control, you have this command saying stop, and I'm saying stop, you can stop all, or you can stop this script or other scripts in this sprite. So I'm saying stop all other scripts in this sprite, which means no motion is allowed. And where shall I put this? I want this condition to start as soon as the green flag is clicked. So I go here and I can place it here. I can right click and say clean up blocks, and then everything is nicely organized. So let's try this. I move my sprite and I deliberately touch the black color, but nothing happens. No collision is detected. This is because when you use the if conditional statement, the moment you click the green flag, the computer checks this condition, and if it's not true, because the moment I click the flag, it's not true, my sprite is not touching the black color, the computer code simply moves on. It checks only one time. What we want is that this if condition is checked throughout the program. And how do you do that? You go to control and you pull out a loop, a forever loop, and you put it here. So now my command reads, when green flag is clicked, go to this X and Y coordinate, then forever keep checking the condition that if the black color is touching, then stop all other scripts in this sprite. Otherwise, whatever is given here will be executed. So let's try this game. I can move my sprite. I can move it, and let's say now the user makes a mistake and touches the black line, then the game is over. So you try making a similar maze game using conditional statements, Boolean expression, and a loop, the forever loop. And for the maze, you can be very creative. I have just made a very simple maze. Your maze could be up in the sky and you could detect collisions with stars, or it could be in an ocean and you could detect collision with fishes or something like that. So use your imagination, make